and then so the current index, yes, current index. So it starts off at 1, and then the interest rate is the most important. Let's say it's so call this APY, and then interest per month. Yeah. Okay. So let's say the APY is 365, and then this one of course will be this one divided by 365.
Are we doing by day?
Yeah. Oh, actually, so that's. Yeah. No, that's so. If we're doing it by month, then. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So basically, what's going to happen is. Yeah, so that's a very simplistic assumption, right? Yeah. And this one will reflect it not in percentage terms, but yeah. How do we do this? Okay, anyway, so format. Okay, there we go. So that's how the index should look over time, right? So if we assume that there's a 60% APY, for example, then every month you're earning 5% interest. So what's actually happening is that, let's say we have user A. User A. He comes in and he deposits. User A. He deposits $1,000. So he puts $1,000 in to the system at period 0, and then he puts in. So I'm just going to use USDT so it's easier to visualize.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is that the system, the smart contract should say, oh, okay, you've given me 1,000 USDT. So we will take your 1,000 USDT, and then don't care what we do with it, right? Maybe Charles is going to spend it on gambling or something, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, right? Because we take your 1,000 USDT, and then the smart contract automatically gives you 1,000 divide by the current index S USDT. Okay, so this is staked USDT. So this is user A.
The system will be send reward immediately, right?
Yeah, so it's not a reward. Okay, so the important point here is that it's more of an IOU. It's like an IOU.
Oh.
So it's like when you go to the bank, right? When you go to the bank and you deposit your $1,000 in the bank gives you like a bank statement, and basically the bank is promising that I owe you $1,000. So when you come back to me, I will give you $1,000. This is your receipt. It's like a fixed deposit, right? If you go to the bank and you put in a fixed deposit, they will give you a receipt. And then in the old days, you can take the receipt and you can go back and you can claim your money back. Like 1 month later or 12 months later. So what's happening is that you're getting this IOU, this SUSDT or S whatever token, right? These S tokens. These are basically IOU tokens. And so what's happening is that over time, as time goes by for user A, maybe 6 months later, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 months later, he's got, if you look at his wallet, right? Does he have USDT? No. 6 months later, user A still doesn't have any USDT. He still has the same 1,000 SUSDT. It's over here. But 6 months later, if he wants to withdraw, if he wants to unstake, what's going to happen is that he's going to take this SUSDT and then he's going to deposit the 1,000 SUSDT, right, into the contract, into the unstaking contract, and then he's going to get 1,000 times the current index. So the contract, the unstaking contract should then say, okay, I will take this 1,000 SUSDT and I will give you back 1,000 times 1.3, which is the current index of USDT, right? So what then happens is that in terms of the total amount of SUSDT in the system, right, that was created, we created $1,000 at the beginning. We created 1,000 SUSDT at the beginning, and then after he redeems it, after he unstakes it, the system goes back to being 0 SUSDT in the whole system, right? But what happens is that for user A, he has earned this interest. So his reward is 300 USDT for holding it in the system for 6 months. So he's not getting a separate reward token, right? His reward is in USDT. But the way that we calculate how much reward he gets is dependent on this thing called the current index. And this is how Compound Finance does it. This is how Olympus DAO does it. It's a very simple and it's a very clever way actually of calculating interest. So it doesn't matter, who comes in and at what time, because it will always the way the system works is that we will always be able to calculate exactly how much interest you are owed, right? So let's say if I use, for example, just to illustrate the point, if I use user B. Let's say user B comes in at month number 3, right? So month number 3, the index is 1.15. So if we now look at user B, I'm just gonna create a little space here. And I'm going to fill it so we don't get. Okay, so if we now look at user B, let's say he comes in at month number 3, and he does the same thing. He deposits 1,000 USDT, and we need to issue him with an IOU, right? So we need to calculate how much SUSDT, how many IOUs do we give him now? Well, it's not 1,000, just like before, because user A got 1,000 because he deposited earlier when the index was only 1. But for user B, we now have to take, using the same formula, right? The formula is, how much do you deposit, right? F3, how much do you deposit, divided by what's the current index. That's the formula. So it's a very, very simple formula, which is still the same. So over here, it's how much do you deposit? It's still 1,000. And then what's the current index, which is now 1.15. So the system now calculates that user B, when he comes in to the system at month 3, right, he will get 869.565 USDT.
I see.
And that's what he will hold all the way until, it doesn't matter how much time passes, he will always be holding 869.56, right? So, and that doesn't change unless he puts in more money into the system. But if he doesn't do anything, this IOU will never change. You will always have this same amount of SUSDT tokens. So let's say, using this example, he holds all the way he holds 9 months, right? All the way until month 12, when the index is now 1.6. So same thing that we do with user A. The system, when he's ready to unstake and claim his reward, we will now take this figure, right, of SUSDT. He puts it into the unstaking contract, and then the unstaking contract then calculates how much his reward is by, or rather how much he's going to withdraw by taking his SUSDT balance, multiplied by the current index, and there you go. That's how much USDT user B should be able to claim from the system. So as you can see, basically he staked it for a bit longer. That's why he got more interest, right? So he got about $91 more interest. But yeah, the system is actually very simple and very beautiful, because all the system cares about is, when did you come in? Okay, you came in at this index figure. when did you go out? Okay, you went out at this index figure. And that's all we do to calculate how much interest someone is owed. All he does is that he holds on to this IOU token